wrong business if you're in the music industry to make money. We're in it because we love it. But we can't drill ourselves into the ground. So we toured it in the UK extensively.
It's hard because we all have jobs, bills to pay, rent to pay, mortgages to pay, real life things that I think sometimes in the industry kind of gets ignored.
And we were realising, this is people all over the world that are listening to this. So we can't take these songs to them. So let's do another album, And so we started putting together the initial ideas for Are We Better Off? I came up with this idea of doing a cover, which the rest of the band hated when they heard which cover I wanted to do. I wanted to do In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. So I'd mentioned it a few times and had been like, yeah. No, it's not, They just weren't into it at all.
I, in all honesty, didn't want to do it.
I wasn't really too excited about the idea. I love the song. Always have. I am personally a big Phil Collins fan.
When Rich pitched it on the WhatsApp group, he's like, right, I've got an idea. I think we should cover this. I was like, no way, it's too cheesy. It'll just sound shit.
So I did what I quite often do and just ignored them. And they loved it. I think Tom was still quite hesitant with it. Nick was hesitant. Dan was into it kind of almost straight away because what drummer doesn't want to play that drum fill? And so the idea was to do a cover, release it, and hopefully pull in some new fans before we release the album.
The song was really, really well received in the end.
I think it's one of our most popular songs on Spotify at the moment, and it just continues to get traction even though it hasn't been playlisted, which is really important.
Because it was sort of like a shortened down version, it worked even better. So yeah, it turned out well in the end.
That each record that we put out has come together in a different way. Tempest was done very much as a group in a practice room. Fragments was lots of different ideas coming in from every direction and me starting the process of becoming a songwriter for the band. Night Sky, I've already told you about, the process of that. And Are We Better Off was different again. I wanted to do a record with more electronic stuff. I wanted that kind of Blade Runner dystopian type vibe. I'd been reading, 1984, and just the way the world is at the moment. I wanted something to write about. So I was thinking like of all these 80s ideas and a lot of the music I was listening to at the time, like the Black Queen and stuff like that. And I'm a big Duran Duran fan. So there's a lot of that 80s influence coming in. And Tom's really good at all the electronic stuff as well. So I knew that we could come up with something that would be good. It wouldn't just be have electronic stuff there for the sake of it. It would enhance the song and, make it better, not just be there just to have some electronics in there.
Basically, I really like the production in electronic music, and I was doing a lot of production for bands and things like that, and it just sort of became something that just kind of came with the territory.
So the writing process for Are We Better Off it came from generally me writing a song and then taking it to the band, and then we would go over to Tom's house where he's got a small studio. We chopped and edited it loads. So the song that it started off as wasn't necessarily the same song at the end of it. The arrangement aspect of that album that the band provided was incredible. The amount of input that they had in from an arrangement perspective, because they were just fiddle with them until they were absolutely perfect. And then we recorded them with Matt in batches, so in batches of 5, I think it was. And yeah, before we knew it, we had Are We Better Off, and it's an album that's not just about one topic like Night Sky is. It's about lots of different things. It's about my feelings towards religion. It's about the state of the world, which I don't think could be more relevant than at a time like this when we're living in such uncertain times. It was about my relationships with people, the ones that were maybe breaking down, ones that were forming, friendships, just all these different things go into that album. So it carries a lot of different themes, but as usual, I've hidden everything in metaphor, because I think for me, I want to be able to listen to a song and get some meaning from it that I have applied. I don't want to be told explicitly by the band, this song is about this. I don't want it to be that obvious. I think songs are much more pertinent and strong if someone can listen to it and think it's about something that they choose, and they hear it and they go, yeah, that's about that, and that's how I feel, rather than that's what you're telling me to feel.
Don't really mind that Rich doesn't tell us about what the lyrics are about.
As a band, it's not really an issue. Some of the songs are about specific members of the band and things that they've gone through at certain times. So it's not with all the songs, but some of the songs are very personal to Rich and things that he's dealt with and gone through. And Rich doesn't like to disclose his lyrics because he likes people to make up their own minds of what the songs mean, and people can interpret words in different ways.
It's good that the songs are ambiguous, because then I can relate to him as well. So he might be singing about one thing, but then I can be like, oh yeah, I can relate to this in other ways, and I think other people can as well.
I've always felt that way, so I've always written in metaphor, and so that's why when you read my lyrics a lot of the time they look a bit confusing, I think. So what it means to me might not mean the same to you, and that's why I'm always really hesitant to tell people when they contact us and say, what's the song about? Most of the time I don't tell the band either. They've learnt not to ask because I don't tell them. Occasionally, if it's something that's really important or if it affects them, a couple of the songs on Are We Better Off are about certain members of the band and things that they were going through at the time, and me feeling for them. So I'll tell them about that, but otherwise I keep my cards pretty close to my chest, and that's not because I don't want people to know what they're about, but I think that if they take something from it themselves without me telling them, it means more.
In the current climate and what's going on in the world, I think using technology and interacting with our audience in more innovative ways, like we've set up a Patreon, so it's like a fan club where you get unique content. We've also been doing some stripped down kind of live versions of songs, and we've been doing some run-throughs and some live Q&A. That was really fun. So more of that as well. I think there's definitely some lessons to be learned here, that we can be really interactive and still stay online. But
once all this is over, we want to get out there and tour as much as we can.
In the current circumstances in the world, and just as people, it's not easy to get out there and go and do a tour of the country, let alone the world. So what we can do though is we can get together as 4 people, as 4 friends, get in a room, play our instruments, write some cool music, have fun while doing it, and just release it and enjoy doing what we do.
So touring, more writing, and the sky's the limit, really.
Yeah, that's what's next for of our lives, is that we're just going to carry on doing what we do best.